Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, friend. You know, okay, I had so much fun yesterday, but I realized we never introduced ourselves. Why
Okay.
don't you share your name and just a little bit about, I don't know, maybe your intentions or whatever you want to do to say hello.
Okay. So my name is James. That's AKA James. Uh, I think that us coming together because we have such a close bond and we share so many of the same feelings, we go through a lot of the same experiences, especially as aging women, if uh, for lack of a better um, description, but really think that I would love to share. We both have amazing stories,
Yeah,
and I think that our stories will resonate with a lot of women. And
yeah.
I would love for anyone who sees us, who finds us, to be able to sit in on our conversations and feel like they're part of the family.
Mhm.
We are so isolated now. We are so uh I was talking to my husband last night and I was like, he said, this is amazing because what friend do you know that you set aside 40 minutes a few times a week and
I
you just
know
have a rapport with? It doesn't happen anymore.
it feels so good. It
Mhm.
feels so good. Tell everybody why you chose James for this podcast or program or whatever it
That'll have
is.
to come at a different time on down the road if we
Girl.
get to know each other. Let's just say that's going to have to be
All right. All
yeah,
right.
that's that's a deep one.
So Vegas thinks this is a good idea.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
awesome.
fantastic idea. And how about you? I know whenever I, told you we should do this and blah blah, blah, you didn't. You were like, well, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. First, let me just say I was under the influence of edibles. So, um, I I don't do TikTok. You don't do podcasts. I think that's actually an advantage because I won't be able to I have no idea what's going to become of this. So I have nothing to be afraid of, except for people finding out who we really are. Nobody cares. Um, so I do think it's a great idea. I know that from the very from the minute we met, we started writing letters to each other, old school letters, and we still do postcards. Um, but I actually love having something to look forward to. If someone knocked on my front door, even if I've known them my whole life, I would just be like, dear God in heaven, what the actual fuck? Like, no, 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 you psychopath who does that. But
Oh,
I love
this is 2025. Who
who
does
knocks on a door. You could though. Wait? Do you remember that time you picked me up in Vegas and you brought you brought me an entire cake?
Yes.
And do
You
you
remember
remember?
when I came to your home all the way flew there with a cake?
As you carry on, I would definitely let you in the door, even if you didn't have a cake. But I really, I just, I get so much strength from you and your your wisdom. You're wise. You're a wise woman. We're some crones, man.
Girl, it's only because we've been exposed to a whole hell of a lot.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
We
And
have
I think being at this stage right now, one of the luxuries, bless you.
the scarf hasn't been drug out of the closet for a year, so that's
Oh,
probably
wait. Wait, that reminds me. At some point, I want to show you some shit I found in my car today.
why.
Anyway, that's for a later. Um, no, I think it is a luxury that the two of us have we're at a peaceful, stable place where we can reflect and just appreciate some of the things that have happened in our lives. I
Appreciate and be, I think it was actually going to be one of my questions for you today, but I know you and I both shared kind of the same. We got the stories. We have a
Oh yeah,
lot of stories, like rock
yeah,
star stories.
yeah,
But on the other hand, we are not those people who seek out attention. We're not trying to, be blah, 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 blah. We know
yeah,
where we are in life. And we truly know that there are women out there who struggle as we have and really wanted to make this and share this. But we want to be vulnerable, we want to be authentic. And in
yeah,
doing so, that also puts us out there for, social media to rip us apart. And I
yeah.
think that was a big apprehension for both of us when we thought about this, hence the disguises.
Yeah.
But
Wait, you're wearing a disguise?
no, I always look like this.
I know. I see your soul, girl. My dog is going to bite me before this is over because she hates this look. I look like JT Leroy. No shame. No shame. Yeah.
So is that a fear for you, that like, why is it that you wouldn't want someone to know your identity?
I do want to speak freely, and as we're discussing our adventures, I'm trying to not use people's names.
Mhm.
And I want, not that my family will ever see this. Well, the hubs, he's excited for me. He may watch it one day. I don't want any of this to come back to haunt him or my kids. I just, yeah, I like, also, I like not having to put on makeup and wear a bra. So, yeah,
100%.
I think it's, for now, we'll stick with the disguises. It worked best for Kiss, and um I feel comfortable. I'm insanely uncomfortable. I think this is a good idea. We'll keep this
I think
going.
you look so fabulous.
Thank you.
That look, the shades and the hair together is
Mhm. You know
amazing.
what? I found these overalls at Salvation Army in the maternity section. I love them.
Who doesn't love a good pair of overalls, girl? Yeah,
Right?
shorts, long pants, it does not
Yep.
matter.
Yep. Love them. Love them. One of the many things I collect.
Overalls are not just for country boys.
Ye fucking ha, my friend.
Ye hop, ye fucking hop for overalls.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like that's something that women of a certain age, girl, we used to be spandex, high heels. Remember the look that was just like a bra with gems on it and bike shorts?
Yes,
We were those girls.
yes.
I do not miss that.
I have to say, I kind of miss those days.
I mean, that was some hardcore fun, but I I do love a good bike short. I do. I'm not ashamed to say it. The only thing I don't like about bike shorts is you can't see all of my tattoos. So, but bike shorts, it's basically pajamas, summer pajamas.
And
Yeah.
girl, you do have the tattoos. What?
Okay, so
Let me ask you about that. What?
about the tattoos,
I remember your first tattoo.
what
Your
was your first tattoo?
your very first tattoo. Mine is too long of a story for now.
But you know what? You are the first person I ever met that had a tattoo.
And we were 2,500 miles apart.
Right. And you're the first person I ever met that had tattoos removed. That's why I was so shocked after that Guns N' Roses show when you said, let's go get tattooed.
Go get tattoos.
How long did it take for you to remove all of your tattoos?
It was a
That's
lot
not
of
fun.
expense and a lot of pain. More pain to take them off than it was when I got them.
And it took one night back in Baltimore.
One night in Baltimore. with you, Vern, with you,
Yeah,
Vern.
yeah.
That is the little secret there.
That was so funny. That was hilarious. So tell me this. I want to see your Mother's Day tattoo because I haven't seen it since it was unbandaged.
Oh,
You want to show it?
well, I got two. Let's
Yes,
see if
I
I can
love
do the
that.
balancing act. So, FYI, here's my current situation. I'm
In the
in the
bathroom.
toilet closet, TC, and my laptop is balancing on the toilet roll holder glass vase thing with another thing in the middle with two books stacked on top. That's how I'm free rolling right now. But do
Oh
you
my
recognize
gosh,
this handwriting?
I can't believe you. I love that so much. And how powerful is it that you got it for Mother's Day and your daughter did it?
Insane.
She is
Absolutely
a rock
insane.
star. You
Yeah.
you've raised a mini James. It's
I don't
true.
get, at least she's a little bit smarter than I am, I think.
How how is the lightning bolt?
That one is amazing. I don't know if I can.
Yes. Effing love that.
Yeah, and I will complete that. I'll get another one on the other side to match it. That was always the goal.
Having tattoos that show, it hits different.
Yeah, can you believe that? So I want to back up a little bit because this is very important. When I first met you, you had absolutely no tattoos, and
Yeah.
you were very, what from my first like thought of, like, if I had to describe you, it would have been this just proper Annapolis, like straight, like right off the harbor
Oh
yacht.
my gosh.
The hair, like the cat suit. No, I mean, like you were so put together. And I remember going back home to the district office, and you sent me a Polaroid picture, and I should have brought that out today. You sent me a Polaroid picture of a little tiny tattoo that you got.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yes.
And
And I
then
had just started working on the hill. Yeah, that's so funny.
and then fast forward when we didn't even see each other for a long time, somehow that swept you over.
Oh God,
And
yeah.
the next time I saw you, your whole, like all your legs, everything
Yeah,
was like covered,
it
sleeved,
feels good.
covered.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Color, I get strength and inspiration from color and texture. And I I also, yeah, I had the little lizard lasered off. That was not fun. But it was also a long time ago. So I'm sure it's changed. Like the technology and everything has changed.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
they
I
say.
had that lasered off and then I had it covered up where the laser, you know how it was still kind of like dappled. You could still see ink embedded in my
Hmm.
skin. Um, I gotta say, getting tattoos are a lot more fun than getting rid of them.
I must agree with you on that
Yeah.
one.
But so you had your tattoos, you had them lasered off, and then how many years was it before we were in Baltimore? How many years in between that?
I think there were probably, oh Lord, at least 20, maybe even 23 years or 24
So
years.
so what made you decide to jump back in?
You!
No, no, that
Yes,
was your
you!
idea.
Uh,
That was your idea.
yeah, because
It was Axel Rose.
yeah,
Axel Rose is the one.
okay, that is true. I fell in love. You brought me there. You got me into the whole Guns N' Roses. Like,
Yay.
we were total groupies. And I use that term loosely, but
The hubs just handed me wine. Hang on one second. Babes, will you slide that door shut? Thank you. Okay, sorry to interrupt. No, remember Baltimore wasn't the first time we got together for their reunion show in Vegas. And that's the first time I got to see you after
That's
all
right.
of these years.
That's
Yes,
right.
and you introduced me to your family, and we Vegas went to see the first show and we went to see the second show because I thought I wanted to give Axel a chance to get his shit together.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I remember because
I
he was in Dave Grohl's chair though at that time, and they had just
yes,
started
that's
performing
right.
together.
That's right.
Mhm.
Worlds collide. Yeah, I mean, he had not done well in the past, so I thought by the second show he would maybe start on time. But look at that. I mean, that's some inspiration right there. They've got their shit together and they are still touring. So we
And
saw Vegas was and they just opened that stadium, right? The new stadium in Vegas.
T-Mobile, yep.
Yep, they had just opened that. And then was it the next year you came up here for the DC show
We did a DC show, we did a Baltimore show.
and the Baltimore show. That was the last one. That was much smaller. Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
so back to that Baltimore show, our seats for Baltimore were not good. I don't think. Maybe they were. I don't remember. But that morning, you were scrolling on your phone and you said, let's get tattooed. And remember, we found the tattoo museum down in Fells Point. Like, okay, I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, it had to be something related to Guns N' Roses.
That's what you got. Remember,
Yeah.
and remember how weird those guys were?
Yeah.
And I
And
think,
okay, that was the crazy thing going back into it though. Okay, so picture this. I started getting a tattoo. Well, first of all, I gave myself my first tattoos when I was in junior high and then in high school. And I did it in the art class
the
with a
spider,
little bit of quill and
poke and stick.
Indian ink. I would just Uh,
Mhm.
also, my daughter did the same thing, just so you know.
Yes.
She never even knew that story about me.
Oh
So,
my God.
yeah. Um, but okay, so back in the day, you would plug in the machine. You had to
Oh
plug the
yeah.
machine into a wall, and that's how it was running with a cord. We walk into this museum, haven't been into a tattoo shop in 20 something years, and they got all these newfangled, like
The handheld.
handheld cordless.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I'm like, I don't know. Is that a good machine?
The
Are you
machine was
sure that's the
fine.
right machine?
The artist was just, remember he told us he had magnets inserted into his fingertips?
Yes.
And then he takes his mask off and his tongue was split, which wasn't the weirdest part about him by any means, but that was awesome. That
It
was
was
really
fun.
awesome. That
Yeah,
was.
it was fun. And you got a very memorable tattoo.
Yes.
That's kind of, yeah, that,
It's
yeah.
hard to tell, but it's a horseshoe crab, which I'm obsessed with.
You're
Yeah.
obsessed with the horseshoe crabs. And we must talk about when you went to see the horseshoe.
Yeah. That's
What do they call them? Like, not mating, but
no, it is. It's the mating season.
mating.
So here's the opposite end of the spectrum. Um, we go on vacation to follow rock bands, but then my sister and I, a few years ago, went to Delaware, and it was the spawning um, mating season for horseshoe crabs. So we went to this conservatory and flipped just hundreds of crabs during mating season. It was so weird and so cool. And I'll send you pictures to post. But
Okay, what do you mean you
yeah.
flip them? Because they go over on their back?
Yeah, the tide will flip them
Gotcha.
over, and they use their tail to try to flip themselves. But also, it's so cool because all of the other horseshoe crabs surround them to try to flip them. So it's really cool. But there's signs all over the beach saying just flip them, and some of them are tagged. So they can track their migration.
Oh,
And we had just gotten off post COVID, and they used they used horseshoe crab blood to stabilize the vaccine, the
that's
COVID
right.
vaccine. It's blue.
It's
So
blue. Yes.
yeah. So it was very fun and very nerdy. And um, yeah, my sister and I are just like me and you. We're only doing weird vacations, only weird vacations. And that was up there. It was fun. Yeah.
Because you forgot to tell everyone about the loss of the car keys at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m.
No, this was Mother Crab looking over all of us. So we were in Delaware, and um, the Airbnb we were staying in was right next to a tattoo parlor. So we go out one day to see the crabs, and there were, I mean, a handful, but it wasn't like we were like, are we at the wrong place? What's going on? And um, one of the locals told us Slaughter Beach, go to Slaughter Beach, and she marked this special place on this map. And like we parked in somebody's driveway and went through their backyard. But okay, wait, in between that, we went during the day while we talked to some locals. I took a nap, and while I was taking a nap, my sister went and got horseshoe crabs tattooed on her butt. So yes. So that night we go out at midnight, and it's a full moon, and it is so spooky, like Scooby-Doo level. Like all you hear on the is the lapping of like the water. It is pitch black, effing dark, and we have flashlights, but you just hear this clickety clackety and get down there, and there are thousands of
Listen,
them. Thousands.
interesting. We have to do this, by the way.
It
You have
was
to
so
take
fun.
me.
So we walk up all the way up, the beach. You're flipping them the whole time. And then I just like, this is crazy. I am getting freaked out. We had been there for about an hour. And I was like, I don't, something is not right here. Like, what if there is a psycho killer? What if this? What if that? She's like, who the fuck do you think is going to be out here? Anyway, we make our way back, and we had marked the trail with a glow stick, and
What, you dropped little glow sticks to like,
just at the path to get back.
oh, gotcha. So you could
Because
mark where you would
yeah,
get off the beach.
this was all people's, yeah, it was all like no trespass. So we had marked it with a glow stick, and we get to my car. Okay. I had maybe 3 gallons of gas in my car. My battery was running out. I was like at 10%. I had 2 bars on my phone. And we get to the car, and my sister, okay, wait, she's like the most grown up person in the world. And she's an emergency management coordinator and a firefighter. Like the girl makes the minutes tick.
Girls got skills.
She mad skills. You want to be sitting next to her if your plane goes down. She looks at me and she goes, I don't have the keys. I was like, what? What? She's like, I've lost the keys. And she bursts into tears. And I like, you know what? This is not a problem. We'll figure this out. And she is crying. She's so upset. And it's also like
She was so
90 degrees.
upset though. Burn.
She was upset because she knew we were stranded there.
But was it like, because you just said she's like the person you want to be sitting next to if the plane is going down. What
Yeah.
had her emotionally charged at that moment?
I think it was because she was afraid I would be mad or that she'd let me down,
Gotcha.
you
Okay.
know. Um, and it like she always handles it. And this, I think she felt like it was out of her control. She was really overwhelmed. And it probably was the best thing to see her in that human, see that human side of her, because that made me just step up. I'm like, okay, if you need to lose your shit, we're going to figure this out. If we have to sleep here till morning, it's not going to be a problem. So I go to try to open the car and the alarm goes off. And we don't have the keys to turn it off.
And you're in somebody's private property
We're
parking
in a
at
neighborhood.
2 or 3
Yeah.
in the morning.
Oh yeah. And I don't have cell coverage at this point, and my battery is dying. And my sister, damn, she is such a baller. She goes, I got this. And she pops the trunk, the hood of the car, and she does something. I don't know what, but it completely stops.
Disconnects the battery.
Okay, I'm not touching that thing. That's the thing with the sparks, right? No, God, no. Plus, what does that look like? Who's to say? We'll never know. She knew. So she disconnects the battery and she says, she's going to go back to the beach to try to find the keys. And I think I'm in my head thinking she just needs to walk this off because we're at the fucking ocean. So I tell her I'm going to start walking until I can get to cell coverage and get an address. So I'm walking, I'm trying to find bars, all of this. I find a sidewalk, like a street sign, and I try to call the car people, but they couldn't help us because
Who are the car people?
I,
were they coming out from behind the palm trees in the sand? Like, who are the car people?
it was not that emu, I can tell you that. And Flo, nowhere to be seen. And it might have been
Slow no go.
It might have been car people, like a deal. I don't know.
Like
I was like, don't I have roadside assistance for something?
Okay. Roadside
anyway.
Yeah.
They're like, no, like, why are you calling at 4 a.m? But all of a sudden I hear the whole horn honking. And I was like, what the fuck? My phone battery dead, completely dead. I'm running through the fog because my car is honking. I get back and my sister now is crying happy tears. So she walked all the way up the beach that we had just walked, all the way back. And when she gets back, she's standing there, like just a few feet from the glow stick. Something hits her foot and she looks down and it is the car keys being washed up from the tide. They're soaking wet. Yeah. And I'm like, that is Mother Crabs. They delivered the spirit of the crab.
Absolutely.
Donated. Yeah. That was a pretty rambling story, but it was exciting.
No, that's very
like
exciting.
I said,
and I think it's such a cool, fun thing. It's like you said, we've gotten to the point where where we go and what we do is very much calculated. Like, are we going haunted house hunting?
Yes.
Are we, going to see Guns N' Roses? Like it's an experience when we go do something.
Okay, so wait. We were in Minneapolis for that show. And do you remember the key the key drama?
That was the best key drama ever. I have to say. That's one of my all-time favorite stories because
we need key tattoos.
Keys? Yeah. Let's do it.
So wait, what? Okay. I knew I had rented a car, right?
You rented a car.
Yes. And you got the hotel. So we are getting ready to go.
And you got the hotel. You got the car and the hotel. You came to pick
me up. And you got the tickets. That's right.
Immediately got into the passenger seat and be like, you can drive. Not comfortable with this.
Wait, so like, hey, you were driving to the show because we were stoned.
I just got off the plane.
No, no. When at the show, remember we had gone to we did the Paisley Park and then we ate that pizza and drank that THC stuff.
And it was amazing. It was like probably one of the best buzz I ever had in my
Yes,
life. It
exactly.
was so amazing. That pizza
Exactly.
was amazing. The whole the
Yeah.
the pizza place where we ate at, you know the name.
Parkway Pizza.
What is it? Park.
Parkway.
It is adjacent to the house that Prince grew up in Minneapolis.
Yes, in that same neighborhood.
Yeah. So we're just making the best of our time and we're having it and we're enjoying ourselves. We're not holding back on anything. We're going to see Pearl Jam that night.
And it was the opening night of their
The
10
opening
reunion
night,
tour.
they hadn't
So it
toured in
was,
years.
yeah,
It was
it
like
was
a
awesome.
huge big deal.
Yeah.
Well, we continued with, I don't know. Oh, remember we went to Zululand to find some papers and a lighter because we needed to be able to roll the joint. I snuck some weed.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah,
That's also a
because
track.
we were so stoned. We were
Yeah.
really, really stoned. Okay, but how stoned were we? We were this stoned.
Mhm.
So we're already back in the hotel. We've done our whole like get ready. You look fabulous. I look fabulous. We're going.
Oh, that was so fun dressing up.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go downstairs and get in that rental car and take off. Well, I get in the driver's seat, and you've got these keys that you handed to me,
Mhm.
and oh no, back up. So the first part of that story is that we couldn't find the keys at all.
That's right. That's right.
Couldn't find the keys for shit. And when you're high, it's like, okay, there's 50 places you could have put those keys and you
Yeah.
don't remember. You think you got your shit together and like, okay,
Yeah.
I got this here, I got my ID, got that, but no. I was looking in every pocket, in every crevice possible. Had to go back upstairs to the room, try to locate them then. Do you remember how we found the keys?
Were they in my purse?
They were in your purse.
Okay.
So
Yes.
you take the keys out and you're holding them, and I'm like, yes. So it's like, yay, score. We get in the car, and now the car's not starting.
That's right.
What the fuck? The car
That's
is
right.
not starting. Why isn't the car starting? Okay, it got to be the battery. It's got to be the key battery. It's got to be
Oh,
like,
and we're going to be late to yet another show. Like once again, we're going to miss all of it.
oh my God. But what was funny too about that, probably not for you, but for me, I kept laughing, like fucking
Oh,
laughing, like
but you know
mad
what,
crazy.
too, though? You kept it to, I mean, it was hilarious. But you get right online and thinking it's the car, the key. And do you remember you got online to see how to change the battery? I'm trying to call the car dealership, the rental place. And you are looking to see how to change it, all of this, how to remember, like recharge it, do like,
Scratching
I don't
it,
know, lick it. I don't even know what,
cleaning,
but you're dealing with
scratching,
all of that.
rubbing. No,
Yeah, yeah.
and even funnier is it said to recharge the key fob, just put it in the cup holder.
That's
We
right.
were going to, we were had we
That's
oh, it
crazy.
was a circus.
That
It
okay,
was an
that I'm
absolute
sure is not a thing. So we we decide to call it quits and we Uber to the show, which was probably the safest thing to do anyway.
anyway.
Go to the show, have a great time, spend a fucking fortune on Uber getting back. It's the next morning.
The next morning, we are supposed to get out of the hotel at a certain time.
Yeah.
Because we're going tubing with our friends.
Right.
Outside Minneapolis. And now we're back at that same point, like, fuck, where are the keys? Or how are we going to get these keys? Oh, we'll walk to CVS. We'll get a new battery. We're on the phone with Davis. We're like doing everything that we can to try and figure this shit out.
And I'm on the phone with the rental people
Right.
to see if they'll bring over God knows what.
We didn't even know what we were hoping for. We just knew we were somehow trying to figure out, we've got to get out of here and get on the road because we're not missing tubing. Okay.
Yeah.
If we got to take
Yeah.
an Uber to tubing, we're going to take an Uber to tubing.
Yeah.
That's what it took.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And remember, we had gone to Goodwill and got all those faces. Okay. Sidetrack.
Yes. We'll have to post the pictures of that. I still have one of them right there. Okay. So I am
you're
on the
digging,
phone,
you're looking while you're on the phone.
and I say, hand me the keys so that I can give them the information and the paperwork. And I look at the keys and it says Toyota or whatever, Toyota. And I go, oh my gosh, this is the same. This is the same kind of car I drive. I drive this car back home. It wasn't the keys to the rental car. It was the keys to my SUV from back home. The correct keys were in our room.
We had the wrong keys the entire time. It was the keys to Vern's car at her home that she drove to the airport and got out
on my keychain. That's the other thing too.
I couldn't figure
on my
this
keychain.
out. It was freaking. Do you remember the look on my eyes though? Whenever you held them up and you were like, Toyota, and I'm like, oh my God, those are not even the freaking rental car keys. Oh my God, that's hysterical. Girl, I'm telling you, I know it was one of those stories you had to be there, but I laughed so hard I peed in my pants.
We're a good team.
We are good.
We're a really good team.
Girl, we didn't skip a beat. We hit and loaded up.
And we did. We made it up to tubing on time.
Tubing and pig shit. That's what we did. We brought our mask from Goodwill and we went tubing and pig shit.
Remember, because it was your birthday. So we had the headdresses and the masks.
Yeah, it was my birthday, huh? The gold mask.
Yeah, and we were with the Minnesota girls.
Yep, and we were with the Minnesota girls.
That was so. We have to get C on the show. She has to come on.
100%. I've been thinking about it for a couple of days now. Yeah, so
yes,
definitely. We got some interesting friends to
that's right
on our.
Yep. Yeah. Do you want me to show you have we come to the section of our program where I show you the weird shit that I found today?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I started cleaning out the back of my car so that I could make room for a bunch of shit I was getting rid of. And there are 3 good things I found. One, I found a book on beautiful dolls.
Beautiful what?
Yeah, right? Dolls.
Oh, no, that's not a book.
Yeah.
That does not exist.
Oh, yeah. Each one is creepier than the next.
Where the fuck did you get that?
I don't know. Oh, you know what? I was making those votive candles that had the weird, like, patron saint of bad decisions. And you know what I mean? Like, Our Lady of Second Chances. Yeah. And I was doing weird dolls. Okay. Second, I found this. A pin that says, I clown for Christ. But wait, here's the other thing.
Most random shit that you
could. No, wait, no, this is the topper. And granted, I don't remember buying any of this stuff. I don't okay, I'll stop right there. Do not remember buying any of it. This is the last thing. A bell, a giant brass bell. It was in the back seat of my car.
It just appeared in your back seat.
It was in this like tote thing with a bunch of like random books, the I Clown for Christ pin, and a brass bell.
And is that like a weapon? Because it looks heavy and it looks like it could be used for such.
I don't remember buying it. I
That's
don't
crazy.
know what this is, but
It was such an amazing find that you were blind to the whole process of getting
you know
it
what it
to
was? I
film.
knew I didn't have one at home. So I'm gonna put that away.
Were you certain of that? I just need to know.
I don't know. I'll check the hub's car and see what I've forgotten in there. Okay. Next section. Do you want to answer a question?
Do you want to answer questions?
No, I'm gonna ask the question. All right. We're gonna do it a dive and see what our Monopoly money is serving us today. All right, I'm gonna go with this. I don't have the right glasses on. Oh, okay. It says, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, easy. So easy. Well, there was angel and devil. So, oh, had a little malfunction. So, when I was about 10 years old, standing in my little small town in Texas, it was so cold outside. And had gotten out of the car as a family, and all we could hear was the rumbling of motorcycles, like loud Easy Rider 1970s motorcycle gang, just boom, 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 boom.
Nice.
And they were basically the whole gang of banditos, which was a really like badass motorcycle gang, passing through on our main street in our little town. And I'm 10 years old, and the girls are wearing just wife beaters or boy beaters and nothing else. And it was like at least 40 degrees outside. And I was just looking at them going, oh my God, look at the bikes, and then look at the girls. They're so badass. They don't feel the cold. I just thought it was like one of the coolest moments ever. So from that point on, I was like totally gonna be a biker. Okay. That was the that
Yeah.
side. But then as I started to get older, by 13 probably, I was convinced I want to be a model. I wanted to be a model. That's exactly like I would dream of modeling in New York. I would dream of Elsa Clinch. I watched her every single Sunday on, it was, I can't remember the name, Style with Elsa Clinch. And I could see myself there. That's exactly what I wanted. And I've never been like a raving beauty. I have a very vanilla look. But I thought for some reason with the legs and
Yeah, yep.
the build, that I could make it happen. And I did go for that for a while.
Do you still have your portfolio?
I have pictures.
Do you still have them?
Yeah, I have pictures.
I love that. I remember. Oh my God. I
Yeah.
love. Do you remember? Okay, when I first met you, we were down. I was down. It was for the election, right? That was the first time we met. You had the best fucking hair. Long blonde, but then the top was spiky. Do you remember that?
Let me tell you how that works. It was this middle part, right?
Yeah.
And you took your curling iron and you rolled every little, like probably 5 or 6 pieces backwards, and then you just had to rake a comb through it or a brush through it, and it would just flow. It was like,
girl. It was awesome. I had hair like the Golden Girls with that style. Yeah, it was. And then I transitioned into Scully from X-Files. So yeah, I was never as cool as you are.
De facto, and I'm not going to give the color of your hair away, but your hair is freaking so special and so gorgeous.
I'm getting it back to where it once belonged. So we'll see. We'll see. But you know, I've always loved a good wig or a bad wig. You know, the last time I went home, I went to the mall and it was still standing. And I went to the wig store and bought a wig for the ride home. You know what? I'll wear that one the next time we talk.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good or bad, nobody's judging, girl.
I know, I love it. We all got our quirks.
This is our safe space.
Yes.
We can say any fucking thing we want, right?
James, nobody is going to care about the horseshoe crabs. Just cut that
I
whole thing out.
I would disagree with you. Look, they're adventures, and it's one of the
Are
adventures
they?
that I still want to go on. I want to do that.
We could do it, definitely. Let's do it next summer, at the beginning of the summer.
Yeah.
Because it was the first week in June when I did it. Do you want to come? You want to come up the first week in June?
Got company coming. Remember, you were supposed to come and we were gonna go.
That's right. And
Yeah.
isn't that tomorrow?
No, it's next week, but almost.
Close enough. Yeah. No, I'm going to be with my grandson, but we could bring him too. He's pretty badass.
Yeah, I am so excited. I've yet to meet him, so I'm really, really excited about that. He is just super cuteness overload.
He's too silly. Okay, so I did not set up uh the microphone so that we could play Name That Crunch, but I did go to the store for some crunchy things.
Okay, so we'll do it next time.
Yeah, before we say goodbye, what is the best thing that happened today for you?
I went to the beach today.
Yay. That's awesome.
It couldn't have been any more beautiful, and I just kicked myself in the ass going, why aren't you there every day?
But it's been crazy hot, right?
It was 90 when I got there early.
No.
But the water temperature is still cool. So it couldn't have been more of a vibe today.
Do the sharks come when the water's cold?
Yeah, because remember, our cold is warmer than yours up in the Northeast.
Got it.
So yeah, I don't go out that far anymore. But I did have a little fish come, and then I was in my own little world. I love this Vern. I was just grabbing deep and pulling up all the sand and just looking through all those millions and millions of little pieces. And then at one point I went so deep, I felt something started crawling like, and I shook it and threw it off so fast. And the guys up on the beach going, what the fuck is wrong? I mean, I'm sure he's been looking at me like I was, probably stoned, which I wasn't, but I could have very easily been.
But the water there is pretty, right? I mean,
water is clear. The day is clear. You could
Yeah.
see the ripples in the sand. It was just freaking amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
But I also went to the dermatologist today and got 4 moles removed.
There you go.
And
that does not sound like the best thing that happened.
Yeah, they've been bothering me. So that was a win today.
Oh my God.
It was a good day. And I got to talk to my BFF.
Right. My day started just right on track. I had a tiny Coke and a sloppy Joe for breakfast. And I just knew today was going to be perfect.
Mary, I'm going to tell you this. I had a tiny Coke for breakfast too. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Aren't they delicious?
Crazy, yes.
They're so delicious. Tiny everything tastes better.
Yeah, tiny everything.
It does. Did you have a almond croissant?
I had 2.
Good for you. See, this has been a good day.
I had 2, and I had no shame asking for those 2.
No, they're delicious.
Did not care.
That's the best way to start your day. I love that.
That would have to be one of my guilty pleasures, is eating those very specific almond croissants. Some days I eat two. I try to just eat one a day, but I have to get off out of the bed and go and get them, usually around noon. And the girls know me there, so
I know, they're
I'll,
so sweet too. They're so nice.
I'll be like, "Hey, got any of those? Yep, putting two aside now."
On it.
My husband thinks it's crazy. He was like, "How do they know you? Like, what is going on here?"
Is Vegas around for the weekend?
In
You just went, I can't hear you.
Yeah,
He is?
yeah. Vegas is
Got
here
it.
till next Monday.
Got it.
On for a week.
Monday is in 3 more days.
No,
Oh, okay.
following Monday.
Got it. Got
So
it.
yeah,
And when do your guests come?
they come on June 3rd.
All right. Are they going to make a guest appearance?
Why not?
Yeah,
I
I love
actually,
that.
literally, Vern, I've not shared this with anyone.
I haven't either. Well, the
Yeah.
Hubs knows.
Okay, the Hubs and Shady,
Yes.
who is, by the way, she was like, "I can't wait. As soon as you publish it, let me know."
Is she going to come on?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
All
Yeah,
right.
we're
I
just,
love that.
yeah, who
We'll
knows?
figure this out.
We'll
I am
figure.
going to bring DJ Tanner on.
Okay.
She's coming back at the end of June. So for a visit. So we'll get her on here.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then we're gonna have, I think we should have uh C come on and be
Yes.
like a regular guest
Mhm. I
host,
love that.
whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Because this girl she is such a dynamic
That's a perfect
individual.
word. She radiates. She is absolutely radiant.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
how
fun.
many people, yeah, in the world do you meet and you're just like, there you are. There you are. You know?
Facts, I believe, yes.
Yes, absolutely. I hate people and I loved her.
That was a crapshoot trying to figure out, okay, is this going to work? Is this dynamic going to work? But I knew that
So
there was
fun.
no way it wouldn't, because we're
So fun.
just,
Oh, that
we're
was a
crazy like that.
great day.
That was fun. Lots of
Yeah. All right, Mama. I'm having charcuterie for dinner.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. I just heard thing one come up. So I'm going to say goodbye. And do you want to try tomorrow?
I Yes, I'm
Excellent.
around, have no plans for this long Labor Day weekend.
Me neither. I'm just going to hang out and dig my way out of this charade of
Or
nonsense.
not. Or not.
Well, I'll certainly uncover something that I haven't seen before or forgotten totally about, and I'll show you tomorrow.
I think I'm gonna have to put a little more effort into this, because I am smoking and sweating right now. Like, the heat from the hat and the sunburn, and then this thing, I'm like, I don't even care if you know who I am at this point. Damn it.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna have to
God.
work on that a little bit better, I think.
All right, Mama, then I will see you tomorrow.
All right, I love you.
I love you too.